1992's Batman Returns. One of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. That's right, Batman Returns is a Christmas movie. And today we're going to talk about this copy on VHS, including the commercials beforehand, the movie itself, and why it is a Christmas movie. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Ectoviolence channel. My name is Alec. Today, we're talking Batman Returns on VHS. And one of the key points of this video is that I think Batman Returns is a Christmas movie, or at least an alternative Christmas movie, as I'll call it. And I know there's plenty of Batman fans and regular nerds out there that are going to watch this movie this season. So let's go ahead and throw the tape in. So the first thing we're going to see is an FBI warning followed by a Warner logo, and then something interesting. Okay, so this tape is obviously standard copy of this movie, right? However, it is a 1997 print because the commercials are updated. This actually has a Warner Brothers 75th anniversary collection. They talk about over 350 movies available in the Warner Home Video collection. That's really the only trailer, and then the movie starts.
Available wherever video is sold.
We get a quick look at the Cobblepot Mansion, and I do gotta say and point out here, Paul Reubens. And, you know, Tim Burton directed Pee-wee's Big Adventure, another fantastic movie. And obviously Paul Reubens is Pee-wee, if you didn't know. And already securing its place as a Christmas movie, the Christmas tree in the room with the baby penguin as it kills their cat. And it seemed like the killing of the cat is the last straw for them. They're like, all right, we're dumping this baby in the river. And you know what? Same. But then again, that's why I don't have kids. I have cats. And then it says 33 years later. Oh, Jesus. Dear God, am I the same age as the Penguin? An interesting thing to point out here is Sean Whalen is the newspaper guy in this movie. You may recognize him from such movies as Twister, People Under the Stairs, Tammy and the T-Rex, That Thing You Do. He's in a lot of stuff. Very interesting person, very interesting actor. It's just cool to be like, oh, there he is. It's that guy. And I like how Alfred walks by and is basically like, haha, no, that's for fools. I'm too good for that shit.
Sometimes it's a diversion to read such rubbish. Most of the time, it's a waste of time.
And reiterating that it's a Christmas movie, the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. This is where the goons come out of the big Christmas present again. And we get Christopher Walken as Max Schreck. You know, kind of an underrated performance. It's, you know, pretty typical Christopher Walken playing a pretty nutty dude. He looks kind of like Beethoven or something in this movie with his hair. It's pretty sick. He looks like a classical composer to me. And I love we're introduced to Bruce Wayne in this movie. He's just like sitting in the dark waiting for that bat signal to go off, you know? He's just like, I am nothing without doing bat shit. And I just want to point out, Batman kills a lot of people in this movie. Particularly one that I think's fucked up is he burns a guy to death with the jet fuel coming out of the back of his Batmobile. And I love that we see the zoo and we see the ducks, and they're used as sort of those little air car things. And I do have a tattoo of the penguin in one of these. And one of his best lines.
I believe the word you're looking for is...
Honestly, Danny DeVito in this movie is unbeatable. It's unmatchable. He's a master. And this whole scene is honestly maybe my favorite in the whole movie. Aside from his introduction line, he also then pulls out a Christmas stocking with a thermos of toxic waste.
Toxic waste from your clean textile plant.
Shredded documents.
A lot of tape and a little patience make all the difference.
And Fred Atkins' hand.
Hi, Max, remember me? I'm Fred's hand.
Then he proceeds to make a deal with Max Schreck to help him kind of popularize himself up top, and shakes his hand with the dead guy's hand. Selena's home. She's talking about feeding her cat dinner, okay? And the problem I have with this is that she then gives it milk. Like no wonder all these cats start to just eat this woman's flesh when she falls off this building. She has to go back to work for the Wayne file, and that's where she gets murdered by Max Schreck, because she discovers that the power plant isn't actually going to produce power, but draw power and store it. Max Schreck comes up with this plan to help the Penguin run for mayor. Holy shit. His reaction to the fish being pulled out is like when I see my girlfriend changing. And I am kind of confused, like, didn't he hear all this going on downstairs while he was upstairs? And it doesn't look like there's any doors even. So it's just an open space. Should he at least hear being like a desk moved in and people talking? And the image consultants. Okay, this is the best scene in the whole movie.
Not a lot of reflective surfaces down on the sewer, huh?
Could be worse. My nose could be gushing blood.
Penguin's filled with all these lines that I didn't really understand as a kid, but when you're an adult, you watch them and you're like, this is amazing.
I'd like to fill her void. That's the biggest parasol I've ever seen.
I will say physical action is kind of like the only element that's missing in these movies. They basically just don't have good enough fights. Other than that, everything's perfect about these first two Batman movies, in my opinion. Except for a couple other things we'll get to. Batman shoves a bomb down a guy's pants and effectively kills him by blowing his dick apart. Penguin with these creepy lines.
Mr. Cobblepot, you are the coolest role model a young person could have.
And you're the hottest young person a role model could have. Just the pussy I've been looking for.
And I want to remind you, this movie had a Happy Meal at McDonald's. They were promoting children seeing this movie. Like, the late 80s and early 90s were a different time. RoboCop had an animated series. For Christ's sake, Toxic Avenger had an animated series. There were toys for RoboCop and Terminator. I always get icked out when I see her put this bird in her mouth. I feel sorry for the bird and for her. I really like the little Batmobile that the Penguin has inside his little RV that looks like you'd see outside of Kmart's in the 90s. You know, throw a quarter in and go. Not only is the duck boat sweet in this movie, but so is the bat boat. Very fun. Never had the toy for anything like this, but I always wanted one. So now let's go back and briefly talk about everything that I think makes it a Christmas movie, or at least some of the mentions of Christmas that I saw throughout. There's a Christmas tree in the room where he kills the cat. There's the people saying Merry Christmas to them as they stroll the baby to kill it.
Merry Christmas.
There is the first tree lighting ceremony. There's the Christmas stocking that the Penguin pulls a thermos out of and that Fred's hand and everything. Selena Kyle's answering machine has two messages. One from her mother, disappointed she's not coming home for Christmas.
But I'm disappointed you're not coming home for Christmas. Want to discuss just why you do this?
And another from a dude canceling plans for a Christmas getaway.
Selena, about that Christmas getaway we planned? I'll be going alone.
Wayne, there's a nice Christmas tree up at Wayne Manor. Penguin challenges the mayor to relight the tree and for Batman to be there. And the movie ends with Batman saying,
Merry Christmas, Alfred. Goodwill toward men. And women.
So it's a Christmas movie. That is all there is to it. So let's talk about the positives of Batman Returns. The cast and characters. Big positive. I think casting is pretty excellent in this movie. No notes, at least not about the casting. Some of the characters, we'll talk about it later. The music, again, Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman's great. There's nobody else that should have done these scores, and I'm really glad he did. The production design and effects, honestly, it's such a sign of the times with how Gotham looks in these first two Batman movies. And mix that with the design of their costumes, the lighting. It's all perfect. I love it. V. Neil did a lot of the special makeup effects for the Penguin specifically. Great job. No notes. And as far as negatives go, well, it's a little goofy here and there. You know, if you're watching this, you're like, it's like like I said, some of the fight scenes, choreography of the fight scenes, maybe not so much. The fact that Penguin is literally a penguin man in this, I love it and I dislike it. Now, this is like my real introduction to the Penguin as a kid. This and Batman the Animated Series, so I'm not complaining too much, but I understand that people wouldn't like that. And the same thing with Catwoman, being like literally bitten by cats and then having like all this 9 Lives shit. It's taken a little too far. And before I rate this movie, I do want to remind you that you can now become a channel member, or you can join on Patreon. There's a link to both in the description down below. With each of them, there's access to a monthly video that's exclusive, and access to early videos as soon as they're done editing. And I'm going to rate the Batman Returns a 4 out of 5 hearts. I think Batman Returns is awesome. And here's the thing, nostalgia definitely plays into that for me. It's one of those movies I grew up watching. I've probably seen Batman 89 way more, but Batman Returns is right up there. And this holiday season, check it out again for yourself. And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.